This is James Arnold Taylor, voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Welcome to a more civilized podcast. This is the podcast you're looking for. You may not go about your business. Stay here, listen, and then move along.
Hey there, Star Wars fans. It's Kyler.
And Chris.
And Ross.
And we're here to talk about The Rise of the Mandalorian. Haha, just kidding. The Rise of Skywalker trailer and the Mandalorian trailer in anticipation of both of those things.
Yes.
So, here we go. But first, as promised, on the 1st of November, we did in fact post the rules to our ticket giveaway for coming on a date night with the three of us and our wives and some various friends to go see Rise of Skywalker.
Which has turned out to be a quite large group.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's going to be you, one of your closest friends, and 11 of our closest friends.
us and our closest friends.
Yeah, us and our closest friend.
I didn't know we had that many. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it was
I
a
bought
bunch.
13 tickets.
Nice.
So it's us and each of our spouses, Ross's sister and her spouse, Caleb, who has been on our show, and his wife, and then two of you.
And my sister.
Oh, yeah. Oh, your sister. Okay. I assumed it was for Dean or somebody.
No.
Okay.
No, we don't.
Your sister Kate, I assume.
Yes.
Yes. Nice. Oh, cool. Yeah, Kate's also been on the show, so that's cool.
Wow, so yeah, basically everyone that's in that list has been on the podcast except for various... Well, actually, no, that's right, all the wives have too.
Yeah.
Mike
But
is the
Lindsay,
only one
I was
missing.
going to say... Oh, that's right. Lindsay was on here, wasn't she?
She was.
No, Mike was on our live show.
Kind of. I mean,
Kind of.
did he speak? I don't remember now.
I think maybe. I don't know.
He was there. He was
was there. He
breathing
was
in the
present.
background, at
Yeah.
the very least.
So anyway, let's talk about the Episode 9 trailer, shall we?
Absolutely. By the way,
Oh, yeah.
did you take that news bit from me so I didn't say newsy news?
What are you talking about?
That wasn't news. That was just reminding people,
It was
hey, we
just
got a
an
contest going.
announcement.
It was... Well, I mean... You
I put it in the news so
you
we
had it under the
remember to
news
talk
section.
about it at the beginning of the show.
Sir,
Ross.
think you can get away from me saying newsy news in every episode?
Nerf Nuggets don't have news, Ross. With one exception, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the last
Anyway.
one we did. Whatever.
I don't see a news section here, man.
It says news right...
Chris went in and changed it from news to announcements.
I've
I
never
love
seen
it.
it.
I love it.
How dare
Good
you,
job,
sir?
Chris.
Thanks.
Okay.
Clever.
Episode 9. Clever girl. Anyway. Thank
you.
Couldn't resist.
Thank you.
So, the trailer starts out with Rey running and jumping.
Yep.
Yep.
Running,
And,
jumping, jungle-ish forest.
Yep. And then it switches to
The
like a
innards
Death Star ruiny
of the Death Star,
something.
probably.
Yeah.
You know what? And
Probably,
actually, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's a tractor beam room.
Oh, you think?
I think so. Because there's one pillar in the background that looks like the thing that Obi-Wan was wandering around in A New Hope.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So it might be one of those rooms.
And then overlaid over that, and then continuing into the next little clip is an inspirational speech by Poe, I'm super sexy Dameron.
Yes. Over a shot of Lando, I'm super sexy Calrissian.
Yeah, there's a lot of sexy
Hanging out
happening,
with the
yeah.
Resistance.
Then we get the Tantive 4 crashing through the... Well, the Tantive 4 question mark. It
Yeah.
looks like it. It probably
Probably
is,
is,
but we
yeah.
won't know for sure until December. Crashing through the jungle, which, I mean, talk about a sweet shot. Like, that's a beautiful, beautiful shot. Oh, man, I can't...
JJ knows how to film ships.
Yeah, he does. That is true.
He does space very well.
Yep. Then we have Raylo on their first date on some wet Death Star wreckage.
This was the Kylo Darcy shot.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that description.
Then we have an iceberg in space? Question mark? Maybe.
Yeah, cool.
And it looked like there was like some sort of structure or something built in it or around it. There
And
were lights
underneath
around it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. Then there's a secret pokey
yeah.
throne for Palpatine.
Which was from, we had a couple people post in the Facebook group and stuff, was actually straight out of the original concept art for episode 4.
The first time I saw it...
And there's a reason it got left in the concept art for episode 4.
Yes.
Anyway.
I agree. The first time I saw it, I was like, okay, so somebody said, so Game of Thrones is really cool, but can we do that but make it Star Warsy and put the Iron Throne in here? That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
if Palpatine got to decide the Iron Throne. Then there's like an ISD-1 rising out of iceberg question mark.
Yeah,
it looks
something
like it's
snow-like.
ice,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's the only substance JJ hasn't done yet with ships because he's done clouds twice and water once. So
Yep.
snow is next.
Could have been buried underground.
Under
Come on.
sand. Yeah,
It
that'd
could
be cool.
have, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want that either. But.
Yeah, it's gonna be it.
No, I'm sure it's...
It looks beautiful, but I am worried about like just the weirdness and like the stupidness of it.
There's that iceberg thing we saw was probably hollow, and that's probably where all those ISDs were.
Could be.
That's probably what's happening here, in my opinion.
Then after that, we have ships. So
many ships.
Many ships. And thanks to Admiral Nick 20 at Admiral Nick 22 on Twitter, I follow him for good Armada postings, even though he's a filthy rebel scum. So we have some sort of possible new Mon Cal cruiser. Maybe. I think it looks a little bit more like an MC-75, like the Raddus, or not the Raddus, excuse me, the Profundity. I think that's what it looks like. It could be new. He thinks it's new.
And for those that aren't Armada players, that's the ship that we see in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And I want to say there was a couple of them in there, because there was one for sure. Then there was another one that looked a lot like it might not have been.
Yeah. Then we have Hammerhead Corvettes sprinkled throughout. We have the Bunker Buster Corvette, at least one. I think there might have been a couple. On most of these, there are multiples of all of this.
Yeah.
Dornian gunships, which we saw briefly in...
I think that's the
Rebels.
Return of the Jedi one, isn't it?
It is like, about 3 frames in Return of the Jedi as a B-Wing like flies by.
I believe the proper term is Dornish, and they're more well known for... not for ships, but...
for other things.
For
a couple
being
of
part of Game of
Neb
Thrones.
Bs. There is a VCX 100, could be the Ghost.
I was looking at the paint job on it.
Yeah.
It's very similar, but there was some discrepancies along the dorsal line.
It could have just
thing.
had a new paint. Yeah, so
could have been repainted, that's all.
I mean, just for Disney's love of fan service, it probably is the Ghost. But again, it's one of those things like the Tantive 4. It almost certainly is, but we have to wait until November. Or
it's
December
the Ghost until whatever alternate media addresses where what the Ghost has been doing all these years says, nah, never mind, we're going to kill them here.
Yeah.
There are several Star Fortress bombers from Last Jedi sprinkled throughout. There is, I had to look this up because it's hilarious. There's Han's freighter that he has in Force Awakens, called a Baleen class heavy fighter. It's just a whale.
Nice.
Then this doesn't have a class yet, but it is the Razor Crest type gunship, which is, the Razor Crest is the Mandalorian's ship.
I saw some people going in on that. It might be. It might not be.
So
it's definitely similar.
It's either that one or it's like Embo's ship from the Clone Wars, if you remember what that looks like. It's one of those two is my guess. I wouldn't be surprised if they have it as the Razor Crest, though, just to help tie everything in more, because that's what we do.
And with Mandalorian bridging, like the actual episodes releasing, bridging that release, you might have some like call forward.
For sure. There's a Pelta class frigate, which I am stoked to see like in live action. Because we've seen them in Clone Wars a little bit. We see it in Rebels for the first 2 seasons, with Commander Sato commanding the Phoenix Home, Pelta. So that will be... It's not the Phoenix Home, though, because Darth Vader destroys the crap out of that by himself in his fighter in Season 2. It's dope. Then there's a Neb C frigate, Nebulon C frigate, which we see again in Last Jedi. It's one of the ships that is escaping with the Raddus from Dakar.
Was it a Neb C?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I thought I looked that up and it wasn't.
I thought so. I could be wrong. But either way, there is a Neb C in there. There's a Vok Bior class cargo frigate, which is another ship that was part of the evacuation of Dakar. And then there's an MC-80, which might be the Home One, which would be pretty cool just to see the Home One again in 2019 graphics. With some sweet money shots, oh boy. So yeah, it does make me, that scene in particular, or that, can we call it a scene in the trailer?
That shot.
That shot in the trailer, thank you, makes me real excited because, as I've talked about numerous times on this show, big space battles with huge giant ships blasting away at each other with their big giant lasers is my all-time favorite thing in Star Wars, even more than a cool lightsaber fight.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to get one of those.
Well, and I'm hoping it's like Lord of the Rings Avengers Endgame scale.
Exactly,
you know?
I want Battle of the Five Armies, like Battle of Pelennor Fields type epic, like, this is every ship in the galaxy shooting everything it has all at once.
Yeah.
Explosions, lasers. Yeah.
Side note, before we move on, a lot of people on the internet were complaining and thinking or using this as there's going to be time travel in Star Wars thing.
What?
Because the Falcon has a round dish on it. And everyone's like, yeah, but in Last Jedi it had the wide one. What everyone fails to remember is that the Falcon again lost its dish in Last Jedi.
That's true, it did.
So.
That's right. And also, let's remember that in the Star Wars universe, no ships ever get modified ever, not even once.
Yeah.
So, once a square dish, always a square dish, except it had a round dish at first, so clearly this one ship has been able to be changed up.
Also,
chill
let's
out,
just
people.
remember that there are some people out there who just, despite the fact that I presume they grew up with movies and movie trailers and have been watching these all their lives, they don't seem to understand how to watch movies and movie trailers. Like, it's the sort of people that got to the end of The Last Jedi and were like, oh, what? So the whole thing's going to be all about this kid now? That's so dumb. It's like, no, not what? Yeah. No, that is utterly, that is just so, I'm going to say it, dumb that I can't even fathom how people jump to that conclusion. Like, that's just like, no, that's not how movies work.
Yeah.
And also, so it's like, oh, there's a different dish here. Time travel. It's like, no, not at all.
It's called, hey, the Falcon needs a new radar dish. Do you have any? I've got this round one. Cool, slap it on.
Yeah, going back to the original manufacturer type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's no... One. Except it was an add-on anyway. It was an after... Yeah, Han added the bigger one. Because if you look at Solo, it doesn't even have one. It has like a little antenna.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that was one of Han's, smuggling aftermarket, this will help me, know who's around me better and help me avoid stuff. Yeah.
Which I like that explanation because it does look a little tacked on.
It's his radar detector.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So, but yeah, really, time travel is the more likely explanation rather than round radar dishes exist in the Star Wars
people
universe
who are
and they put one on.
To be angry for no reason.
So dumb. Then there's a cool explosion. And then there's
Which, by the way, that explosion that they linger on.
Yeah.
That shot just kind of sits there, and I think they even pause it, so it's probably very short normally. But is it next to an ISD? Is that explosion framing or being framed by an ISD?
I don't know. Then there's catamaran style jet ski thing.
Yeah, going over the water. It looks like it's near the ruins of the Death Star, probably.
Yeah, it is.
I think you see it, don't you?
Yeah, you do. So it's cresting a wave, and then it goes over the wave, and it kind of the screen. It kind of dips down, and you see now that it's over the wave, you see the Death Star in the back. While Chris is checking that, I'm going to keep going because we have a lot to get through, and I'm trying to keep this short. Then we have the saddest C-3PO moment ever, where he's like, oh, I'm taking one last look at my friends, or possibly right before he murders them all, who knows. I'm taking one last look at my friends. Boom, boom, boom.
I feel like this is going to be
his eyes go red and he turns Terminator.
I feel like this is a little bit of a red herring. It's probably just a memory wipe or something.
It does look like it's next to some sort of
wipe. I mean, he has
ship,
had a lot of them.
But I can't tell if it's an ISD.
Yeah. And then at this point is when... so obviously John Williams' music has been playing throughout the whole trailer, but right after 3PO's I'm taking one last look at my friends, the music really kicks in, and I'm just thank the Force and all of the gods that John Williams is a thing that exists and he's involved with this movie, because that music gives me chills every time. Honestly, this may have my favorite soundtrack of any Star Wars movie, just based on this trailer alone. It is
so trailer music,
good.
So you never know. But
I think with this being the final trailer, I think they usually go for
they
actual
might.
score.
Not always. I was actually just watching some old trailers from a specific movie earlier, and it's none of that made it into the actual movie. It was all just generic.
Yeah,
and this is obviously not just
my specific
generic,
note for that was John Williams' music is freaking impeccable. Seriously, can't say enough about how fetching good the music is. It is so good, right at that part especially, where it starts going into that main Star Wars thing, but it's kind of elongated almost and really powerful. It's got John Williams' excellent brass music in there, which I love. I love his all of his horn music is just great. It's so good. I went and just re-listened to that 10 seconds a couple of times while I was watching it and prep for this. Oh, it's so good. Then we have some shooting in a hallway, which is cool. Underscoring, or not underscoring, but underneath John Williams' music, because I think of it that way because I'm still focused on the music at that point, and I'm like, oh, they're shooting, but oh, that music is so good. And then we have Rey hugging Leia, which we all wish we could do one more time. And then the new A-Team celebrates Holi, apparently, or Holi, the Hindu Festival of Colors, which is good to see that, getting some representation.
Are you talking about the scene where
Boom.
Yeah, they poke the
shoots
can.
off the
It reminds me of the Festival of Colors.
It really does.
It does.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, but
So, plus trying to make this entertaining. Ross.
I just wanted to make sure I knew what scene you were talking about. But whatever.
What other scene could I be talking about, Ross?
I don't know. I was making sure.
Ross.
Get on with it.
Then we have a dope shot of a Y-Wing being way more maneuverable than it should be.
Yep.
While shooting a TIE Fighter and a Resurgence-class Star Destroyer. But it looks freaking sweet anyway, so who cares, man?
Oh, and that big old massive cannon underneath it, too, that it's shooting at.
Yeah.
Is that an aftermarket thing? What is that from?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's gonna be so. Armada players are rejoicing, by the way,
Yeah,
at this trailer, because we're like,
bet.
hey, there's our 2 new faction ships we've been waiting for. Now there's enough. We can do Resistance and First Order.
And a lot of people were theorizing that the person flying that Y-Wing is probably Wedge. I feel like that would be a disservice to Wedge.
It would be. He's an X-Wing.
Yeah.
He needs one of the
X-Wing.
dope new X-Wings.
He and Poe need to banter at who's better.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we have riding warthog horses on a Star Destroyer in space. What the crap is going on?
Yeah, that looks
See,
fun.
and that's another reason why I think it's inside that ice thing, so there might actually be an atmosphere.
Yeah, but it's
contained.
so...
It is just...
But now you're breaking the ice. Isn't that going to, vent it out into space? What is going on?
People will be inside by that point, hopefully.
Maybe they're riding horses on the exterior hull of a Star Destroyer.
Well,
It's not
and
like
technically,
they have-
we can see lightning in the background, so I think it's the cloud space of all of those Star
ISDs
Destroyers,
in
the
that.
ISDs we've seen.
Yeah.
So that doesn't necessarily mean it's out of an atmosphere. So there are clouds.
Yeah, it's
So it's
weird.
not necessarily in space.
By the way, in case you haven't figured it out, for those that don't know the acronym, ISD is Imperial Star Destroyer.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Sorry.
Then we have Reylo in the Death Star throne room, and Reylo killing a Vader altar thingy.
Yeah.
Something.
That particular scene was interesting.
It's gonna be...
For
The
several
Reylo fans
reasons.
are gonna love this
Yeah.
movie.
So,
Maybe.
in particular, with that scene,
Okay,
Rey,
let me rephrase that. The Reylo fans are gonna get a lot of Reylo.
and they've already been absolutely giddy over
I
this
know
trailer.
they have.
Anyway, so in that particular shot, a couple things to notice are Rey is holding some sort of dagger in her offhand. Don't know what that's about.
That could be
Also,
cool.
you can see what is probably or looks to be Chewie's bandolier and bowcaster on a table behind them. So I don't know what that's
Chewie's
about.
dead. That'd be sad.
And there's been some debate, but apparently the effigy that they are destroying is something Darth Vader related. That is his mask. You see, it's
It
tough
looks
to
like
see,
his mask from
Yeah.
Episode 7.
but
yeah.
it is his mask. Star Wars show said so.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to talk mostly about with this particular scene is I don't understand where this is coming into play mostly because the
Yeah.
architecture of it is very Imperial, not First Order.
Yeah.
But it's all white.
Yeah.
And the Empire never did anything white.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. The
looks like,
architecture
yeah,
is
some sort of
Imperial, the
medical-
coloring is Rebel, and then
Well,
you
it's
have...
it's not even Rebel. Rebel is usually like an off-white.
Rebels
no,
are
it
always
makes me
dirty.
think of like
and,
Tantive
dirty.
4, like episode
It does
4.
look very
you know?
Tantive 4.
Like
That
that's
is
what it
true.
reminds, or even the Home 1. The interior of the Home 1 is like
They were
blinding
quite
white.
That
You know,
is true. You're right.
but then you
there's
have
also
this weird, and to me, the first time I watched it, it almost looked like a shadow or something that they were slicing through, and it breaks apart. And then after I went back and watched it, so maybe it's some sort of weird Force vision.
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and then there's also the last thing is that there is something that might at least has the same shape as Darth Vader's meditation egg in the
Oh
back.
yeah, could.
So-
Oh boy.
so-
Well, and the interior that was white too.
It was more gray. It was a lighter gray.
Yeah, I'm looking at that though, and the shape there, like the serration on the edge is similarly shaped, but it doesn't look like it's a spherical thing.
Yeah.
It looks like there is a the teeth portion of it look like it's to be flat, but it looks like it just begins to slope away.
I'm looking at it now, and to me, it just looks like it's not sloping away. You'd still be able to see something that, even with no matter how sharp that slope was.
At very least, it's cylindrical because those teeth on the side, for sure.
Well, no, but see,
That's
even
a
if
falling away.
with those teeth on the side, you'd still be able to see that they've got. See, each of these teeth has like 2 levels to it, and you've only got one level on the side pieces there. Even if it turned completely sideways, you should still be able to see the end of that.
That's fair.
Like, there's nothing there. I'm pretty sure it's... Anyway,
Either
this is
way.
all probably completely unimportant.
Yeah, either way, it's reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
egg.
Yes.
Then we have another money shot of an ISD-1 rising while the Warthog horses gallop across the hull. Seriously, what the crap is going on? And then I noticed for the first time, hey, I saw a B-Wing fly by at that point. Because everybody's looking at the horses, but then there's a B-Wing that goes by. And I'm like, yay, I love B-Wings. They're so cool. And then Palpatine laughing, Luke is talking, John Williams for the finish.
Well, and you skipped over the Rey looking up at some black thing ominously looming over her, which I really, really, really hope is not some stupid Frankenstein Palpatine thing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It could be all sorts of things because they're very specific. We all know Palpatine is in this film in one way or another, but they still haven't shown him.
Yeah.
We do have from the Battlefront 2, we know that he had essentially like some advanced AI Palpatine like pre-recorded shenanigans that were in robots to deliver the news about Operation Cinder.
Right.
I could see that being the case, that maybe there's some sort of Operation Cinder 2.0 Palpatine robot thing that's trying to
Well, and it's also
carry on
got
its
cloth
last orders
attached
or
to it
something.
of some sort. And-
Well, one thought is it might also be a pre-visual effects shot. They don't usually do that this late, but it could be
And
something
with
they
Star
haven't
Wars, that
applied
would be
to.
unusual.
Well, and there's also, I mean, it's Star Wars is owned by Disney, and Disney has shown with Marvel a willingness to just alter shots to not spoil things. You know, it's
Well, and in Rogue One's trailers, a bunch of stuff was in the trailers that weren't in
Rogue
the movie.
One's trailer's problem was that they
Granted,
completely
well,
changed the movie.
But
after
there
they did
was
that.
one shot of the shot where Krennic is standing there, like kind of holding his hands in front of him, and the cape's all spread out beautifully, and it's just this like great pan shot of him. That was never ever a plan to be in the movie ever.
No,
from
yeah,
the
but
get-go. It was, they were like, this is just a really cool shot. Let's do it for a promo.
Well, yeah, but what they did with Rogue One is Gareth Edwards literally was just like, hey, we're just going to go out and shoot some stuff to get kind of a feel for what this is going to be and what it's going to look like. None of it was ever intended to be in the movie. And then when they were making the trailer, they were like, hey, you've got all this extra footage sitting here. Can we use this? And they were like, well, I mean, we're not actually using it. It's not accurate, but yeah, why not? And then it became even less accurate when they completely redid everything.
So who knows?
But I'm thinking more like Thor Ragnarok. You know, it shows Hela shattering Mjolnir in some sort of like city alleyway something, and then that did not take place in that sort of setting.
Yeah,
just to catch people off guard.
Sure. But I'll tell you who knows. We do on December 19th. Oh boy.
Future selves are so smug
we
right
are.
now.
No kidding.
Right.
That's smug son of a gun. Alrighty. Well, that's... I mean, do we have any other thoughts on the
Just that
Resistance
also
trailer?
in that last shot, there was some like lights on the chair that he's sitting on, so it's not the same throne we saw before. I saw something about how in a couple frames there's what's probably fingers showing what's might or might not be Palpatine. Just a lot of little things like that that maybe...
I'm going to channel my inner Carrie here for a minute. How does this trailer make you feel?
Great.
It makes me excited. Yeah, so...
It teases things that I utterly hate the idea of, which like the I don't want any sort of Robo Palpatine, Frankenstein Palpatine, any of these things, and which, you know, some people might be like, well, they're obviously not doing that, and I'm like, I'm sorry, they have multiple times in the extended universe, and there are a lot of signifiers in this trailer that hint at extended universe stuff that it's like, yeah, that's very reminiscent of this from this or from that, and that still does not make me happy. And so yeah, there's stuff I like, but
I agree with that, but I was talking with Steven about this just a couple days ago, and trailers, right, they're supposed to give you an idea for what the movie's going to be about. They're supposed to generate a certain feel for the movie.
Yep.
So Episode 7's trailers made me feel really excited about new Star Wars. Okay, this is going to head in a positive direction.
Yep.
And then the movie came out, and I was like, okay, trailers pretty accurately matched the movie. I felt pretty good about things. Here we go. Episode 8's trailers came out. I watched them, and I went, I don't think this is the Star Wars for me. I'm not terribly excited. I'm a little worried. Episode 8 came out, and for me, I was like, yeah, again, trailers pretty well matched what the movie turned out to be for me, which was disappointing, not exactly what I wanted, even though, yes, I admit Chris has made some really good points, and I hate him for it, and forever will.
Not once you love the movie.
And then
Come
episode 9...
Just love Big Brother,
No.
and everything will be fine.
Don't. No. So episode 9's trailers, I went into them wary because of episode 8, where I felt kind of burned, betrayed, even though betray is kind of weird because it's not like they owe me anything, but, whatever. We all understand what I mean. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of nervous. In the first trailer, I was going, okay, maybe. I'm not getting as bad a vibe as I did with 8. Then the second trailer came out, and I'm like, okay, better. This looks more like a direction I would rather see Star Wars go. And with this final trailer and John Williams' music, I'm like, yeah, I'm back in all the way, baby. This looks fantastic. So hopefully it will continue to follow the pattern of the trailer, pretty accurately representing what the movie is.
See, for me, I liked The Force Awakens. I hated the first teaser for Force Awakens, but I liked all the other trailers that came out. Last Jedi, I hated all of the trailers. Like they were all crap. I did not like any of those.
We agree. We fully agree.
Yeah, I hated those trailers. In fact, I don't even think I watched all of the trailers in the end. I disliked the early ones so much that I was just like, nope, whatever. I'll just go see this when it comes out. And it really is just that, like, yeah, I don't like that you're lingering on things that I'm sure would be fan servicey to a lot of people who liked the old extended universe. I did like elements of the old extended universe, but you're not focusing on the good parts at all. And so I'm kind of like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah. Ross, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was interesting how it didn't really show us anything we didn't already know. Mm-hmm. Or at least strongly assumed was going to happen in the movie. Because I remember before Force Awakens, I pretty much had, after looking through the trailers, a pretty decent outline as to what was going to happen, things happening here and there, and that ended up being basically true. I haven't just tried, but I can't do that with this movie, which is nice. And it looked like a lot of fun, a lot of stuff that I wanted to see, so I think I'm going to have a good time with this movie.
Yeah, I'm excited. It looks like I'm going to get my two favorite things in all of Star Wars, which are big ship battles and cool lightsaber fights.
Yep.
So I'm stoked. Yeah, just give me cool Star Wars ships blowing each other up. Makes me happy. Okay, well, I think that's it then for the Rise of Skywalker final trailer. Now, on to the more imminent Mandalorian 2 trailer.
Which, I mean, I can sum up this trailer pretty easily. If you saw the last trailer, this doesn't really give you anything new.
True. That's true. But it still makes me excited. So, here are some things. Here's this trailer. So, we get a little bit more dialogue from Werner Herzog. The same dialogue from the first trailer
just with more
we now realize was sort of truncated, and we get sort of an expanded middle section of his dialogue to the Mandalorian, which is cool. It makes me way excited for... I mean, not that I wasn't excited for Werner Herzog's character, but even more so with this added dialogue. I'm like, okay, you're kind of a creep. I'm excited. I'm intrigued by this, And then the Mando is ambushed by 2 Trandoshans, and he promptly whoops their butts, which is pretty impressive if you know how strong Trandoshans are in the galaxy. Like, that's impressive that he can just be like, you got the drop on me, barely, and I'm just gonna take you down. He has a cool, like, zappy thing on his...
Cattle prod.
Yeah, cattle prod kind of thing on his rifle, which, at first I'm like, oh, that's way cool, and then my mind went to a dark place. A very, very dark place. The Christmas special. And we see him zap the, like, brontosaurus thing that he's riding.
Oh, yeah,
so
but this thing is... that rifle was already out of there, like...
No, I know it is, but I guess I had forgot. Maybe I was like tuning out the Christmas special because it's so bad.
It is.
But I had forgotten that it is like a little cattle prod thing on the end of his rifle. So when he zaps that Trandoshan and sends him flying, I'm like, oh, that's way cool. And then I was like, that's new. Oh wait, no, it's not. Okay, that's really cool that they are showing that off.
It's
that's
a fun
pretty
nod.
neat. Yeah, exactly. So that'll be cool. And apparently carbonite is the new gold standard in... carbonite freezing is the new gold standard in bounty hunting. So thanks, Darth Vader, for setting that precedent, apparently.
Yeah.
Because he's got like a whole line of like people he's captured, like 6 or 7 people all frozen in carbonite, that it's like, oh, so this is just a thing now. This is like standard bounty hunter operating procedures is carbonite.
Hey, makes things a lot easier.
It does. It really does. I mean, it's hard to resist when you're frozen in carbonite. Yeah. You know, you don't have to worry about them like breaking out of their cell or something.
Storage is easy. You don't have to worry about feeding them.
Yeah.
I mean,
it really makes me think that the galaxy should just switch over to like for prison sentences and stuff. Just carbon freeze them. Hey, 20 years is up. Boom. Get you out of there. Here you go.
But then they wake up the exact same person.
Yeah.
There's no chance for any
true.
sort of development and growth.
That's true. Well, maybe for life in prison people, you just leave them permanently carbon freeze. It's like you're too dangerous to be let out, but we also don't want you like escaping. So
those people that get charged with so many life sentences, they can actually serve them all.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just kind of like, if you're going to do that, just have a death sentence. Like,
yeah, exactly. No, I agree on that. So then Werner Herzog thinks the Mando is the best bounty hunter in the parsec. So what the crap, Star Wars? Is it a unit of time, distance, area? I'm so confused.
So I was laughing because Han Solo, the solo Star Wars story introduces like, yep, okay, we are officially taking the old, the fan theory that became official in the extended universe books that is now official in the new universe movies of, it's because if you make the Kessel Run, it's how short of a distance can you get through this? That's what's impressive about it. And it's like, okay, sure, whatever. But I just laughing at like, this isn't a big deal. I don't really care, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, man, Disney just can't, like, nobody in Star Wars can get that parsec right, can they? Because it's like the idea that it's like, oh man, we made the Kessel Run in 12-ish parsecs. It's like, okay, I don't think you understand how far a parsec is. Like, a parsec is 3-point-something light years.
Yeah. Like,
the nearest star to our solar system, Alpha Centauri, is like 1.26 parsecs away. Like, that's 1 parsec. And so they flew the entire Kessel Run. They flew 12 to 14 of these.
Don't bring your science.
It just makes me laugh, where it's just like, okay,
exactly.
Sure, that's much more plausible than just, whatever. It's a unit of time in Star Wars. And then this one here, it's like, he's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, and I'm like, or in the parsec, and I'm like, okay, but on a galactic scale, though, I don't think you understand how small a parsec is.
Look, you're the best bounty hunter on our side of the street.
Yeah, it really is. No, I did the math on this. Okay, guys. Because I was curious. I was curious. I was just like, how big is a parsec in relation to a galaxy? So if we're just assuming that we're using a parsec as a unit of area, obviously, because it would have to be. And we're going to simplify things and say we have a 2D map of the galaxy, so we can have a 2-dimensional parsec, like parsec squared, and not worry about the fact that space is not 2-dimensional. We'll just go with that for now. The Milky Way, in 2 dimensions, its area would be roughly 825 million square parsecs.
Okay.
So in relation to Earth, I took the surface area of the Earth and I divided that by 825 million.
Oh, I'm so excited for this.
So in comparison to Earth, you're talking that's basically like saying you're the best bounty hunter in this quarter mile squared. Like between here and the library, you are the best bounty hunter around.
And here's the thing: it's probably smaller in the Star Wars universe.
So that really is like saying you're the best bounty hunter on our street.
Yeah,
basically,
it really is.
Because remember, the Kessel Run was 12 of those parsecs.
Yep.
Oh goodness.
So I mean, it's a lot smaller.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I just laughed at that. Like, I don't care about that in the slightest. It just makes me laugh that they keep finding new ways for a parsec to be inaccurate.
And what is so funny is it's like you've had 40-something years, 42 years of people poking fun at you for this.
It almost makes me wonder if that's deliberate. If they're just like, whatever. We're just going to make fun of the fact that the parsec is whatever we want it to be at any given point.
And then it's like, and with Solo, you addressed that issue and repaired it basically as best as is possible given the circumstances.
I think as best as possible is just saying a parsec is a unit of time in Star Wars, but
sure. And then it's like, and then you throw this out there. Ugh, whatever. That's hilarious, though. Thank you for doing that. That was so good.
I got curious. I was just like, what would that be relatively?
Then the Mando gets ambushed by a bunch of stormtroopers, and he proceeds to chew through them fairly quickly and easily.
It almost looked like he was ambushing them there, because he definitely came on the one unawares.
Yeah. It's lots of ambushing happening, is what we're saying.
I think it looked like more like a standoff. Like, we know you're in there, come out with your hands up.
Well, but then he comes out and catches the one with his back to him. I'm like, if we know we're in here, why is that guy got his...
He comes out and catches his blaster. Unless he's holding his blaster behind him, Chris.
Let me look it up.
He grabs the first one, deals with the second one, like punches the first one again.
Yeah, but he has that weird, that sideways shot without looking that's so bad, and I thought... I could absolutely be wrong.
Then we have an HMP gunship, which is pretty cool. The heavy missile platform droid gunship flying through the background. Yeah. And it pans down and we see two B-2 super battle droids, which I'm excited for. And again, some people were like, oh, it's getting like, not time travel, but like, oh, we're going to have flashbacks to the Clone Wars. I'm going, or, remember, Occam's Razor here. These things still exist. They're 40 to 50 years old at this point.
The Aftermath books have already established that people still hunt these down and use them.
And exactly, it's like, this is the Outer Rim. Who's to say that it's some guys like, hey, I've got 2 old battle droids. They're not top of the line anymore, but they'll keep a watch on your shop for you. Yeah. Okay, I'll take 2. Like, that to me seems a way more plausible explanation rather than, oh, we're going to have time jumps and we're going to be going back to when he was in the Clone Wars and... Ugh, dumb fan theories. But anyway, so that's cool to see those. It's cool to see these in better CGI live action.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like, again, Attack of the Clones was really cool.
Yeah,
like 2003, I think is when it came out.
Attack of the Clones was
2002. I think it was 2 or 3.
2002, it was every 3 years.
And it looked good. Those graphics were really good for then, but it's now 20 years later, and our graphics look even better. So, it'll be fun to see.
Yes, he comes out of this door, and that stormtrooper is facing sideways shooting at someone else. So, he did not expect the Mandalorian to come out of there.
Speaking of dumb fan theories, we have a woolly rhino, ancient Earth confirmed to be in the Star Wars galaxy. Yes. So, that was kind of cool to see, to be like, wow, that's like just straight out of like my dinosaur book from when I was a kid. Cool. Yeah, I'm down with some woolly rhinos. Show me a giant sloth next. That's what I want to see. Then we have some brown chicken, brown cow eyes being made between Mando and Cara Dune.
That is not what I got out of that.
Oh,
scene.
Really?
It's more like a bro handshake.
Let me look.
I don't know.
Let me make the official call here.
But I'm also a sucker for, chick flicks and romance, so I'm down with that.
Okay.
Plus, 2 good-looking people kissing. I'm just saying.
We assume he's good looking under there.
He's Pedro Pascal.
No, Pedro Pascal is attractive. We assume the Mandalorian is attractive under there.
I'm assuming
that's like saying that's like assuming the Deadpool is going to be attractive when he takes the mask off because of Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, that's fair. Now I want the Mando to pull his helmet off.
Yeah,
and he's all Deadpool-y.
I didn't get anything sexy about that aside from the fact that she is just an attractive woman.
Lady. Yeah. Then is it maybe like the Mando's mom, like taking off his helmet or something? I don't know.
Lost love. Someone
who knows?
Some woman.
I don't know. She looks older though.
Is that the woman that we saw in I think the last trailer, hiding in that river thing?
Yeah, I think so. At least the setting seems similar.
I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
She doesn't look older to me.
But that looks kind of like a nice tender moment, of thanking him for something. I don't know. It looks. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Then we got some cool automated shoulder gun on some dude.
It's Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
That is the comedian Bill Burr, who apparently hated all things Star Wars, and then all of a sudden is in one. So
wow. Well, that'll be interesting. But it was a cool shoulder cannon thing, like auto firing something. I'm like, that's pretty dope. Then the Mando lassos a TIE fighter, which we've seen before in Rebels, and I cannot wait to... I don't care how ridiculous it is. I don't even care. I can't wait to see this. Oh, I'm so excited for that. And Moff Gideon is flying that TIE fighter, apparently, so that's going to be so cool. I don't even care if it makes sense in any way.
I wonder, so these scenes that we're seeing now, how far through the series do you think they go?
I don't know. I
would wager that 95% of what we've seen is in the first episode.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Or first 2.
I will tell you why in a moment, but yeah.
Okay. Then we hear his voice, which is kind of cool for the first time, where he's just like, like, sure, yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember what
he
he
says.
says.
It's just really short.
Says they're waiting for you, and he says, "Yeah, good."
Yeah, good. That's right. Which is cool.
Yep.
So, same question. How does this, like, what are your thoughts on this trailer? How does it make you feel, anticipation-wise, anything like that?
Utterly unchanged. I mean, everything I said about the last one applies here, where it's like, all I want is a hint of what the story is about, and they have given me absolutely nothing.
That is true. There's pretty much no story other than the premise, which is there's a bounty hunter.
No, we
who's a
don't even have a
Mandalorian.
premise here. That's not even a whole premise. Like, a whole premise is like, Chuck, this is an episode. This is a show about a everyday Geek Squad guy who accidentally downloads a government supercomputer into his brain and has to work.
Okay.
And despite his complete lack
So
of
we have a
abilities.
setting. A Mandalorian
we
in the
basically
Outer
have
Rim.
we have a Mandalorian in the Outer Rim after the Battle of Endor. That tells us nothing. It's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even give us enough knowledge to be like, so why is it just a Mandalorian and not Boba Fett? Like, why is it just... Why is this not Boba Fett? We don't even have enough to know that.
Because Boba Fett got it.
So
He
we
got
know
out,
that.
though.
Yeah, we know he gets
Kathleen
out.
Kennedy.
Yeah, I know.
confirmed that
We
he's
don't
out.
know on what time scale.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is
Presumably before his
we
1,000
have,
years are up.
you know, and it's like we don't have anything to. Why is this set 5 years after the fall of the Empire instead of 5 years after the end of the Clone Wars, when the separatist systems are reeling from what's going on and they're all being subjugated, brought back into line? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
so
Anyway,
we got nothing, and so I'm like, I'm not unhappy.
I'm
but
excited.
I got nothing.
I mean, more Star Wars makes me happy. It looks really like we're going to get some cool gunfights and stuff, which are going to be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing, and I think we may, like some Cad Bane flavoring in terms of the Mandalorian and his gunfighting, because Cad Bane has some sweet gunfights in the Clone Wars. So I think we may see some of that ported over into live action, which would be really cool to see. I'm excited. As of this recording, we have 11 days, so by the time this airs, it will be slightly less than that.
10, 9 ish,
Somewhere in there, yes. Ross, get
depending
to it.
on Ross's availability for editing.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
How about you, Ross? What you feeling?
No, I'm still excited about it. And so your complaint about story is that, I mean, we've gotten things from other sources, like actors talking about what they're doing and
I don't
stuff
care
like
about
that.
that,
But
yeah.
I know you don't. But again, so I'm more okay with it because they have talked about how
Well, and sorry, go ahead.
they've talked about I'm trying to remember his name, the guy that was in Breaking Bad.
Gus Fring.
Yeah, the guy that's playing Moff Gideon.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes, him. He was talking about how his character is just like we saw in the old EU, where he's a remnant of the Empire trying to gather things
Maintain
back.
order.
That
on
still
his
tells us
little-
nothing about story.
But he continues on and says, but a lot of these bounty hunters are standing in their way, so now we know there's going to be conflict between him and the Mandalorian. So, I mean...
Well, we already knew that, though. I mean,
Yeah. From the
picture
first
of him
trailer,
standing there with
Death
stormtroopers.
troopers,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, well, this is an adversary. It's a standard adversary shot. Like,
I'm excited.
but again, that
Well-
doesn't tell me anything about the plot.
Although I
also
will
thought
say,
Is that just the episode 1 plot? Like,
yeah.
Maybe.
or is that a
I
different...
am with Chris, though. Like, I really do want a solid story out of this. I mean, the setting is cool.
Well, and basically what I'm
but I
afraid
really
of
want a
here,
good
and I'm
story.
not heavily afraid of it, but a little, is basically that I'm going to get another Rogue One. It's like, here's a lot of style with absolutely no substance, just,
Yeah.
and I don't want that. Like, story is all that really matters to me, and so I'm afraid that their continued hesitation to give me any story is that now, and it could be any number of things. Like, not every trailer tells you a story. Like, plenty of trailers will avoid telling you almost anything about the story and will just go for, hey, here's these actors, or here's this setting, and da-da-da-da-da. And a Star Wars TV show is one that can definitely get away with that.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just doing that. The fact that they are giving us so little, though, that they haven't even been like, hey, here's what this is about, does make me wonder if they're trying to avoid spoiling some major first episode reveal that, like, colors the rest of the series. Which you could do. It could be risky. Like, it could be kind of a bait and switch if it's like, oh, here's the reveal. And it's like, well, that's not what we thought we were signing up for. That might not make some people happy, but I don't know. But that's why, because they are refusing to give us any of the story, that's what makes me think that almost everything we've seen has been in the first episode. Most of it has been in the first episode. It's just because they seem to be really trying to avoid spoiling any sort of plot. But with a movie, you kind of have to really pick and choose carefully. With Rise of Sky, that's part of what made The Last Jedi trailers so difficult to make, I'm sure, is just that it's like, well, we can't show them anything because this movie is just messing with the entire formula of Star Wars, and we don't want to give any of that away. So what we end up with looks just very generic and weird. And that could be...
Maybe that's why I didn't like the trailers.
Yeah, the trailers, yeah, they were definitely doing a weird dance of trying to dance around all the reveals in that movie, but it was just kind of mundane with what they were left with, because the whole purpose, what they're doing there is setting up, here's your standard Star Wars formula, but we're veering off of it left and right. That's part of the point of what we're doing. But so if you don't show that, then all you're left with is, it's kind of like Spec Ops: The Line. Is like this entire video game is all about deconstructing and criticizing the entire shooter genre of games. But in order to set that up, it basically looked like just another shooter. Like nothing stood out about it at all in any of its advertising. It's a hard thing to do. So anyway.
Yep. Okay. And now moving on to the third surprising thing. So
we mentioned in a past episode.
Yeah. For several weeks now, Steven, our fact checker, has been threatening us with a surprise.
Yes.
And I do mean threatening us with a surprise. I have been given this surprise. And we're going to open it. That was part of the stipulation of him giving it to us, was that we open it while we record.
If we wanted to retain his fact-checking services.
Exactly.
Now, before we do this, do we want to theorize what's in it?
I told Kyler earlier that if these were from me, I probably would have given me Rogue One. I would have given Kyler the second book of the New Thrawn trilogy. And I don't know what I would have given you, though, Ross. I was going to say Solo, but I was like, he's already got that. I don't know.
I'm a pretty happy person, always. My thought was...
You would have given him a new name, a better name for his pub.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably what it would be. So he posted the picture on the Facebook group, and it's a Legion box.
For Ross gets a dictionary with the word news highlighted.
And a note that says, Newsy does not appear in here anymore.
Exactly. Actually, it probably would, depending on the dictionary.
Chris, don't encourage him.
So the box is a Legion game box, which I'm certain Steven probably just had lying around. Does he want that back, by the way?
No, he has... He's like me. Plenty. We have excess of empty Legion boxes.
Gotcha. And he's taped a little card that just says fact check on it. And so I was like, it'll probably be like a complete Star Wars encyclopedia.
We're actually going to pause for 2 seconds and take some pictures with this to post to go along with this episode when it releases. So
cool.
We'll be right back. So these Steven has numbered the gifts, and there's like a little message taped inside each thing. Ross, we were asked to open them in the order that they were numbered. So Ross has the first gift.
Okay, I am opening the thing. We all know Attack of the Clones is better. Are you just trying to get me to say things on the podcast, Steven? Is that what this is?
Oh, no. What if he is? That's brilliant and devious.
But again, remember, unlimited power, so it won't work. All right. I am now even more concerned than I was before.
So it could be an Attack of the Clones thing.
Oh, no.
Ooh, it's a Funko Pop.
Oh, hey!
Oh, hey!
Oh, that's awesome, though.
So it is an Attack of the Clones.
It is. He got us a little...
the one good part of Attack of the Clones.
A Jango Fett Funko.
Well, there you go.
Dude, that's awesome. Thank you very much, Steven.
What'd I say? My note says, for your favorite Star Wars story / character. I bet you it is a Jyn Erso Funko Pop.
Oh, no.
Yep. And he got me the movie.
That's
well, thank you for going to the expense, Steven.
That is fantastic. Oh, my goodness. I'm real worried now.
Oh, we all know what yours is.
I can take any still from that movie and hang it on a wall. I'm so nervous.
Is it going to be a framed shot? It's a framed shot of Adam Driver shirtless.
Please.
I bet it
no.
Oh, wait, yeah. Is there a Ben Swallow Funko Pop? I hope so.
Oh, it might. There is a shirtless Ben Swallow Funko Pop.
Oh, no.
And it is a frame. There's a frame.
Oh my gosh. So I for reals have a beautifully framed shirtless Kylo Ren. And I have I have stupid Admiral Holdo as a Funko Pop. Oh my god. Oh, Steven, I hate you so much. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to get home and put that on my wall.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Wow.
This is incredibly
Steven,
generous of you, Steven. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Well done. That's all I can say. Wow. Wow. Where'd my phone go?
Oh, it's over here. Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, thank you, Steven. You definitely know how to get us. That was that was so good. Wow. Okay,
Kind of crying over there.
that was so, I'm laughing
Weeping.
so hard. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to put him not facing me so I can get through this outro without laughing some more. Okay. So be sure to follow us on Twitter at More Civilized. Join the Facebook group, A More Civilized Podcast, and remember to like, share, comment, do all the other things we told you to do in our giveaway post thing so that you can win tickets to come see episode 9 with us.
You can find me on Twitter at Mr_R_star.
Wow, we really spiked the mic. Look at that. It's like a solid wall of orange.
You can find me on Twitter at Itinerant Baxter. Let us know if there's anything you would like to hear on this podcast that we can do for you.
Dang it! How did I not see this coming, Steven?
I did actually. I did not realize the lengths he would go to.
That's hilarious. Anyway, until next time, may the force be with you.
Always.
I'm Anna Graves, and thank you for listening to A More Civilized Podcast.
So, Ross, get back over here.
Here, wait,
I
let me-
just sat
wait,
down.
wait,
Here,
wait.
no, yeah, give me the phone. Let me do it from over here.
Okay. Do it.